So I'm Rachel Frizberg, and I'm the responsible for the Asia Pacific area for Roche Pharmaceuticals. COVID-19 pandemic has, been a really unprecedented public health crisis. And it's really sort of exposed some of the weaknesses that we've seen within the healthcare systems. And at the same time, we've started to see a backlog of patients who really need treatment and care, who've been concerned about going into the hospitals. But although on one hand, there's been this outlook of, things that are not so positive, on the other hand, there's been a lot of opportunity. And that opportunity has been things like evolving regulatory pathways for approvals for medicines, or pushing care outside of hospitals so that patients are not concerned. Also, this increased use of digital health technologies and just an increased collaboration across both the public and the private sector. So really seeing that this is evolving, but at the same time requiring unprecedented collaboration and partnership. Well, I mean, of course, as COVID has really rapidly evolved from starting here in Asia Pacific and then really in-depth happening in Latin America, for example, at the moment, we've seen people in the Roche organization really working tirelessly, whether that's been thinking around the manufacturing side, supply, really continuing to see how we can support those patients who are critical in need of treatment. We developed a diagnostic test for COVID-19 that was able to get rapid emergency FDA approval and is being used across the globe. We also, currently, unfortunately, there's no approved medicines for COVID-19. So we really looked into our portfolio to see where could there be possibilities for options for the future. And we initiated quite recently a clinical trial for looking at the patients who have the more severe COVID-19 pneumonia. And then at a country level, there's been a variety of different approaches, whether it's been in Vietnam, where they were helping to provide the protection equipment for the healthcare workers, or also in countries like Philippines, where they were looking to see how can we again provide solutions of home care that's away from the hospital. And they came up with this approach called flex care. And that was either whether it was trying to bring patients to the hospitals through transportation, or whether it was bringing treatment to the patients through mobile infusions and so on. So really there was an opportunity to see what was needed in the local environment, and then coming up with different solutions to be able to support the communities and our different, the healthcare workers and so on. So I think for us, from the leadership perspective for ASEAN, we really need to be thinking about what are the lessons learned here, particularly as we're seeing this rapid evolution around the globe. I think in the short term, from an industry, government and society, we really need to be working together on the solutions that we can bring. And then also, I think, as I said, really looking at those learnings about how have we been able to respond, where can we learn across borders and understand and think about faster adoption of some of these newer technologies. We've seen in places like Thailand having more remote use of clinics, and then in places like Hong Kong, telemedicine. So how can we use technology in order to bring solutions so that we're ready when there's a potential second wave? And I think in the long term, we really need to be thinking as leaders on how can we support real solid systemic change for the healthcare systems to be able to help strengthen them as we move forward.